like, I should just fucking leak it. I just want it out right now. But oh wait, I can curse, right?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, no doubt. Yeah, I was like, I should just leak the thing. And but I don't have to do that now because we're a week away.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and like I said, the singles have been super, super solid. Like just in terms of production, engineering, uh, the vocals have been like some of my favorites of yours for this project.
Thank you.
Um,
I think
yeah.
so. I think one of the things with the vocals is like Ace is good as a producer in making sure I don't have a chance to overthink it.
Mhm.
So like some of these songs to track the vocals, I think I kept a list on my phone, and there were two songs we were under 8 minutes to do the entire every vocal on this song.
Mhm.
Um, so just like really running through it and just trusting our gut on it and trusting like the energy I brought to it is the correct one.
For sure. Um, can we kind of talk about the background behind the project for people that don't know exactly what it's about? And like when did you start
Sure.
writing these songs?
Um, okay, so the it's a little bit of a complicated project, right?
Mhm.
The barrier to entry is slightly higher than a normal band because the band started not with the intent to start a band, right? I just
Mhm.
wanted a way to practice my songwriting, kind of sharpen my skills.
Yeah.
And I was concerned that if I wrote songs that were not for the Wonder Years, but were still about me, that I would kind of like cannibalize my own lyric cache, and I would run out of ideas to use for Wonder Year songs. And so I said, well, you know what? No one's going to hear it. So I'm just going to write songs about somebody else. I'm going to write a story, and then I'm going to write songs about that story. And so I did that. And I showed it to Ace from early November, and he was like, I really like this. You should let me produce it. Let's make a record. And Hopeless Records agreed to let me do it. And we did that. And so we put out this record that was a narrative. And I didn't expect to play any of it in front of anyone, but then I got the opportunity to. And I said, okay, well, here comes a kind of a crossroads with this project. How do I play it? Because it's all, every song is in character.
Mhm.
And I thought that it would be weird to be jumping in and out of character between songs and just being like me again. And so I said, okay, it's only a couple shows. Let's just do it in character. I'll do the shows in character too. I'll walk up on stage and say, hi, my name is Aaron West. And that's what we did. And it kind of took on a little bit of a life. And so I started thinking, okay, well, we're going to make a follow up record now. But that came with this kind of difficult constriction because a lot of things about Aaron's life were already written in the sense that, like, I was playing music on stage as Aaron. So if that's Aaron, that's a part of his life. And the album has to reflect that. And so what we ended up doing was kind of making the project this full concept project where everything that happens on record and on stage is canon to the project. And so on this newest album, we started using that to our advantage and kind of planning stories in advance and executing them on stage and then writing them into the album. So in that way, like I think I say this a lot. Some people are probably tired of hearing me say it, but I think that the project is most like professional wrestling because it's a group of people coming to see an event where they're buying into the character work happening live in front of them. And what happens in front of them changes the trajectory of the story moving forward.
Mm. That's awesome. Yeah, the little things there that I didn't know about the project either. So that's really cool. So there's obviously going to be differences. What are the differences between writing uh, from a Wonder Year standpoint and from like Aaron West standpoint? Like, can you kind of explain uh, having to change your mindset of like,
Sure.
yeah.
Well, I think that like there's like the obvious thing, which is like I'm writing about a character, and so I have to script this narrative beforehand instead of just writing songs about me. But I think that really the starker difference is less obvious, and it's that with Wonder Years, it's so kind of democratic and like communal, like the songwriting process. Like I might bring in an idea, but it's really bare bones. And then we kind of work it over and everyone has to be happy with it before we move forward with it. Whereas with Aaron West, it is in some ways freeing because I don't have to, if I like it, then it's good. Then it's we're rolling. I don't have to convince anybody else that it is good. But I also don't get any feedback.
Mm.
And so a lot of times writing the records can be like, some days it's like, wow, that was so like liberating and freeing. I just got to write songs and like I didn't have to hear anybody else's opinions on them. And that can feel good. And the other days I'm like, this is very lonely. And I wish that my friends were here to help me with this song.
Yeah, so writing this record, did it overlap with the last Wonder Years record?
No, I didn't start writing this record. Okay, so the problem was I was planning to start writing the record on the tour the Wonder Years did with Hot Mulligan. That was like my plan. It was the Wonder Years Hot Mulligan Carly Cosgrove tour, and I was going to work on these songs. And that would have given me like, something like 14 weeks of writing before I was going into the studio, which felt like, I had scripted out the story, but as far as like sitting down with a guitar. And then the first day of that tour, I woke up and I couldn't move my right arm, and something was wrong with my rotator cuff. And I played most of that tour in a sling, and I couldn't comfortably play guitar. And so I didn't get to start writing it until after that tour finished. And like a cortisone shot in my shoulder made it, work again. And so, yeah, the record really, like, we recorded it last June. I was writing it like right now last year.
Mm. Nice. So you kind of answered another one of my questions that I had. And it's basically just like, do you write for Aaron West when you're on tour? Like your last record?
I'm not a great on tour songwriter.
Mhm.
I think like I try to cherish the fact that I'm in these cities and I try to be like, okay, I'm going to go explore. I'm going to go see friends. I'm going to go get a coffee. I'm going to do something that's because, like you never know how many tours you have in your body. And it's just a unique opportunity that I like to take advantage of. And so I've done very little on tour songwriting, but yeah, every once in a while. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Uh, so studio, is there anything that you guys did in the studio that was different from the last few albums?
Yeah. The biggest thing was that, so on the last couple of records, like Ace Enders from the Early November is the producer for this and kind of like my co-conspirator on a lot of the songwriting stuff and like my sounding board. And he ends up usually playing a lot of the instruments on it. And then the band that plays live would just, learn it for the shows. For this, I was like, I really want everyone to be on it. And so the scheduling was a bit of a nightmare, but yeah, 16 different people played on this record. Um, and that I think brought a richness to it because it's like Ace is incredibly talented, but like his instrument is guitar, right? So to have like Nina come in and play piano on it, who is like classically trained on piano, like it's going to change that. To have Slow Mo come in and play lap steel, who has been playing steel for years and years and years, it's just a different dynamic. And I do think that elevated it. And then also for the first time, I had somebody else mix this record. Vince Ratty mixed it, and that's a change. And one that I've been kind of interested in recent years is like not letting the person that produced it mix it because I want a fresh set of ears on the record.
Right. Yeah. So, when you were making this project and when you were making this album in specific, was there any specific musicians or anything else that were really inspiring you at the time?
Yeah, I mean, as far as like kind of narrative songwriting and storytelling and songwriting, the Weaker Thans, the Hold Steady, the Mountain Goats, and then like Springsteen, and Rilo Kiley. I always loved the way that Rilo Kiley brought like strings and horns and different arrangements into songs. Um, yeah, I would say that's like the kind of like the crux of it. Gang of Youths, Bleachers, Um, yeah,
Yeah,
a lot of influences.
I like the Weaker Thans shout out there, like Winnipeg. Uh, Winnipeg rock is always, the goat. So yeah,
Yeah, that's one of my favorite bands of all time, and one of my favorite lyricists of all time. So yeah,
yeah, for
definitely a
sure.
big influence for me.
Yeah, are you a Propagandhi fan by chance?
Not as much as the Weekend Ends,
That's
or just
that's
like kind of John's solo work as well.
yeah, yeah, yeah. John's solo work is really good.
Hmm.
Um, uh, I guess kind of last question, kind of about the record itself. Can you talk about lyrical themes in the album?
I think that like there's like a few kind of bigger overarching themes. But I think that like the biggest thing to it is the idea that like healing is not a linear process, and that there are going to be setbacks and loopbacks, um, and that a community around you can be really useful in that process. And I think that's really where this record kind of spends a lot of its time, on those ideas, and on the idea that ignoring your problems won't make them go away. Like you can compartmentalize things for so long, but eventually they will manifest themselves into different darknesses across your life. And so actually going and confronting those problems and doing the work to fix things with yourself is, paramount.
Yeah, I like that. Um, so we'll go into some miscellaneous questions now. Still about Aaron West or Wonder Years or however you want to respond. Um, is there any artists that you'd love to collaborate with or play a show or a tour with? Either you could either answer through the Wonder Years or Aaron West.
Um, I would love to play an Aaron West show with Lucero. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Nice. Yeah, Lucero's pretty awesome. Yeah. Um, is there a venue, like a dream venue you'd love to play at with Aaron West?
Um, whew, I don't know. Um, I guess like everyone's going to say Red Rocks to this question, right? But you want to like
I've
that's like
had
the
I've had
venue that
people
people
say
are
Red
obsessed
Rocks.
with,
Yeah.
and I feel like Red Rocks is like such an easy answer for it. But I don't know. We're just happy to play where people will have us.
That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I was just wondering because you had that just recently released live video in the church that was really really
Hmm.
well made, and I just thought it was a really like unique environment for like a live performance. So I thought you could probably shed some light on that. So yeah. Um
Yeah, we just, I was just looking for a different backdrop for something for a stripped down session. And then like the other day we went and did one where I just showed up on a park bench in Philly
yeah,
by the
yeah.
river and was just like, here is where I am. I'll play some songs. And we had, 100 or so people come over and got some footage of that we launched too.
Hell yeah. Um Is there any like festivals that you have with Aaron West that you can announce or that you can tease or something like that, or even in the pipeline?
Uh, no, no. All of the Aaron West tour dates are announced at the moment.
Okay, awesome. Yeah,
Um, I think if you look at my touring schedule, it kind of flips back to Wonder Years. Um, we're doing Sad Summer and Slam Dunk
yeah,
and Sundown Festival in Alaska.
yeah,
So we have a lot coming up.
yeah, uh, yeah. Alaska. Have you ever played in Alaska before?
This will be our second time. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Wonder Years played Anchorage, and we're coming back again to do Anchorage again at the.
Yeah,
It's a crazy lineup. It's like us and like Tech Nine. It's cool.
yeah, that's it. Um, yeah, I don't really have any more questions that I can ask. I don't think. Um, yeah, thanks for doing this with me. Really fun. really, it's been an honor talking to you for this. Um,
I mean,
yeah,
I appreciate it.
yeah. Uh,
We're
this,
gonna go. It's my son's birthday next week, so
yeah,
we're gonna pop off and go shop for party supplies now.
yeah. Yeah. So this is UMFM. Thanks for tuning in. UMFM Suburban Home at Home. This is Dan Campbell from Wonder Years, and Aaron West and the Roaring Twenties. Please check out their new album, In Leo Flowers, April 12th on Hopeless Records. That's next week by the time I upload this. And yeah, thank you again.
No problem. Have a good one, man.
Have a great night.